The Crimson Tide back at home for what is an early season pivotal test against the Missouri Tigers. That's tonight's matchup. It's presented by Golden Flake, the official potato chip of the Crimson Tide. Logan, everybody, this is Roger Hoover. Glad to welcome you courtside to Coleman Coliseum as Alabama faces Mizzou. The Crimson Tide off to a 12-3 start this season, but we saw the 10-game winning streak come to an end in Alabama's last game on New Year's Day against Tennessee. It was the Lady Vols picking up an 89-76 win. So Alabama in SEC action 1-1, the win against Georgia, the loss against Tennessee. Meanwhile, Missouri, Robin Pingeton's team, off to a 13-2 start this season, and the Tigers 2-0 so far in the SEC with wins against Kentucky and then last Sunday at Auburn. So even though it's pretty early in the season, only the third SEC game, this is a really important matchup for the Crimson Tide against Missouri Tigers, trying to gain some momentum before the Sunday showdown down on the Plains against Auburn. But again, it's tonight's matchup, Alabama against Missouri, presented by Golden Flake. When we come back to Tuscaloosa, we'll take a look at the starting lineups and we'll have the tip-off. In women's basketball, it's Alabama against Missouri. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Alabama at home in Coleman Coliseum against Missouri. We'll take a look at tonight's starting lineups. They're brought to you by your local Alabama Chick-fil-A restaurant. Chick-fil-A app is here to help you savor every second of the game. With the app, you can score points towards rewards with each purchase. Just order ahead and score before the game even starts. Roll Tide with Chick-fil-A. Before we fully dive into the starters for Alabama and Missouri, let's first pause 10 seconds for station identification. That's 10 seconds for a station ID. This is the Crimson Tide. Back to Coleman Coliseum on the campus of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. The Chick-fil-A starting lineups first for the visiting Missouri Tigers. Again, 13-2 to begin the season, 2-0 in SEC play. Starting for Mizzou, at guard, a 5'8 junior from Long Island, New York. She transferred to Missouri from Auburn, Lauren Hansen. Then getting the start at guard as well, a 5'10 grad student from Indianapolis, Indiana, Caitlin Gilbert. Gilbert leads the team with 20 steals on the season. Then at guard, a 5'10 grad student, a native of Alabama from Gadsden, Haley Troop. At center, a 6'3 junior from Chesterfield, Missouri, Jayla Kelly. And at forward, a 6'1 senior from Stratford, Missouri, Haley Frank, who leads this team by averaging 15 points. She also leads the way in terms of blocks with 12 and three-pointers made with 37 this season. Missouri is led by head coach Robin Pingeton. Now look at the Alabama Crimson Tide. Christy Curry's team 12-3 on the season, 1-1 in the SEC. Alabama a perfect 8-0 at home this season. That will be tested tonight against Mizzou. Starting for the Crimson Tide. At guard, a 6-foot junior from Birmingham, Sarah Ashley Barker. The point guard, a 5'6" grad student from Homewood, Hannah Barber, leading this team with 45 assists on the season. At guard, a 5'9" grad student from Manchester, Georgia, Brittany Davis. Davis, the leading point scorer, averaging 16.9 per game, and the leading rebounder, averaging 6.7 rebounds per game. The center, a 6'4" grad student, the NC State transfer from Sewanee, Georgia, Jada Rice. Rice leading not only Alabama but the SEC with 39 total blocks on the season. And then at forward, a 6-foot junior from East Lansing, Michigan. She transferred to Alabama from Illinois, Aaliyah Nye. Nye averaging 8 points and 1 rebound per game. Alabama, led by head coach Christy Curry in what is her 10th season at the capstone. She is assisted by Kelly Curry, along with Janice Constantine and Roman Tubner. The athletic trainer is Alicia Grigsby, strength and conditioning coach Ashley Beaver, and then the director of operations for the University of Alabama, Brian Johnson, video operations, Bryce Dillard, sports information, Stephanie Withy. Our officials for tonight, Katie Lukanich, along with Karen Priato and Nikesha Thompson, all wearing the black pants, the gray shirts with the white pinstripes, and then black shoulders on all of the referee shirts for this evening. It's Missouri wearing the visiting black uniforms with gold numerals on the front and back. Mizzou, not Missouri, Mizzou written across the front in gold. Alabama in the home white jerseys with crimson numerals on the front and back. Alabama written across the front in crimson. Exciting to be back at home. Exciting to have a game early in the year with a lot on the line. Missouri trying to continue good momentum from a 2-0 start. Alabama looking to bounce back after Sunday's loss at Tennessee. In the circle, Kelly against Rice. The ball is tipped, and away we go as Missouri picks up the opening tap, and the Tigers will work first with the basketball. Missouri playing on the right goal to begin this game. Alabama will be on the left. We're just getting going in the first of 4 10-minute quarters in women's basketball. Kelly, quick handoff to Hanson, top of the key, long jumper, rattles off the iron, no good. Rebound tapped around into the free throw line, controlled by Alabama's Brittany Davis. Davis hurries down the right side of the lane, lays it up, leaves it short, and the rebound by Frank in the crimson paint, and the basketball to Mizzou. Quickly, Mama Dembele has her pass stolen away by Alabama's Aaliyah Nye. Nye zigzags in the paint, spins around, throws up a shot, no good on that shot, but a blocking foul called against Missouri and called against Haley Frank, running back in transition, trying to stop what would have been an easy 2 for Alabama and Aaliyah Nye. Nye, 4 points in the last game against Tennessee. She'll go to the free throw line for what is a rare trip this season. She's 2 of 2 on the year, but again, hasn't been to the line too much this year. No score, 9:27 left to go in the first quarter. Here is Aaliyah Nye. First one on the way. Off the back iron, no good. Remains a scoreless contest. Nye getting set for one more. Three dribbles, puts it up. And short, and the rebound in the paint by Hanson. An 0-for-2 trip for Nye. Basketball to Missouri in a scoreless contest. Hanson with the ball at the top of the key. Bounce pass in the left front court to Dembele. Dembele dribbling to the top of the key as she pounds the right-handed dribble, goes in the right corner to Hanson. Step to the left, now passes top of the key to Dembele. To the right elbow, Kelly moves down the lane, spins around the paint, floats it up off the back iron, that rattles in, and Missouri has the game's first 2 points. 2-0 Tigers, basketball to Crimson Tide as Hannah Barber works over the timeline right. A bounce pass to Jada Rice. She totes the rock to the right wing, handoff to Davis. Head fake by her. Trying to go around the screen to the right instead. Recycles back to the top of the key with Barker. Barker floats it to the free throw line for Rice. Her back to the basket, 10 on the shot clock. Rice kicks it out, left wing Davis loads up a 3 and connects. Brittany Davis with the triple gives Alabama a 3-2 lead with 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Basketball back to Missouri, trailing now by a point. Mizzou has a team averaging 69.8 points per game. Troop after first moving in down the left side lane to Dembele on the right wing, right block to Kelly. Bodies into the paint, around Jada Rice, nowhere to go, has a pass to Hanson, then left side it's Frank, at three-pointer up, in and out, no good, and on the right block, the rebound by Rice, basketball to Alabama. Crimson Tide moving with the basketball, Hannah Barber on the left wing. Barber dribbling at the top of the key. Kicks it down the right corner to Nye. Nye starts to drive the right baseline, slams on the brakes, right side of the lane. Her jumper no good. Dembele, the rebound of the SEC logo in the paint, and the basketball to Missouri. Tigers with the ball down to point. Kelly accelerates down the right side lane, has her shot go up, blocked away by Jada Rice, but a foul will be called as well on Jada Rice, trying to play hands-up defense for the Crimson Tide. First team foul against Alabama, 3-2, Alabama in front with 7:46 remaining in this first quarter of play from Tuscaloosa. To the free throw line, Jayla Kelly, a 52% free throw shooter on the year, just 12 of 23 so far this season. In her junior season, native of Chesterfield, Missouri, averaging 4 points, 3 rebounds per game. Kelly, set to go, and the first free throw on its way. Short. That keeps Alabama in front by a point, a chance to tie it up on this free throw for Jayla Kelly. Only scored 2 points in her last 4 games, so just 2 points in the last 26 minutes of play. Puts this free throw up, leaves it short, and the rebound by Sarah Ashley Barker, left side of the lane. Basketball to Alabama. Barker inside the left wing, top of the key to Davis, thought about a 3 instead. Spins inside the arc, left side of the lane. Tried to kick it back out to Barker, but that pass stolen away by Mama Dembele. Dembele leading the fast break for Mizzou into the left corner. Troop starts to drive in left baseline and picked up her feet, traveled with the basketball, and it's back to Alabama. 7:27 left to go in this first quarter. Crimson Tide with a 3-2 lead against Missouri, seeing some early turnovers. Both sides 1 of 3 shooting from the floor, but 2 turnovers on Mizzou, just 1 to this point in Alabama. Barber hurries down the right baseline. Pull-up jumper is good. An 8-footer for Hannah Barber puts Alabama's lead at 5-2. So we've seen a 3-pointer by Davis, now a 2 by Barber to begin Alabama's scoring. Crimson Tide averaging 73.8 points per game, 8th best in the SEC. Troop top of the key to Kelly on the right wing. Kelly, the post player, spinning around looking for some help. Dribbles a step to the right, tried to pass to Troop, but that's tipped out of play by Alabama. And on the right sideline, the basketball still with Missouri with 13 left on the shot clock, 6:53 left to go in this first quarter. Alabama, a 5-2 lead against the Missouri Tigers. Dembele, right sideline to inbound the basketball. Looks, waits, finally gets it into Troop on the right wing. Troop with 10 on the shot clock, still on the right wing, guarded by Davis. To the right corner, Kelly. Kelly heaves it all the way to the left wing. Dembele drives in with the basketball under the basket, tried to pass it out, but she traveled, and that will give the basketball to the Crimson Tide. So good pressure by Alabama defensively, more turnovers for Missouri. That's now 3 on the Tigers, and it's also a 2-minute, 20-second scoring drought for Mizzou. Barber with the basketball as Alabama has the ball up by 3. 6:35 left to go in this first quarter. Barber to the left corner. Barber to the left wing. To the left side lane to Barker, top of the key. Her rhythm 3 is good. Sarah Ashley Barker grows Alabama's lead to 8-2 with 6:20 to go in the first quarter. Good to see that for Sarah Ashley, her 5th made 3-pointer of the season. Came in tonight 4 of 21 on the year, but we saw from her time at Georgia she can really get on a hot streak from 3-point land. Starting to do that now for Alabama. Hanson top of the key for Missouri. Shot clock down to 10 as Dembele works on the right wing. Dembele. Bounce pass to Hanson, right corner 3, partially deflected almost by Barker, but it still goes in for Hanson. So good answer for Missouri when the Tigers needed it by the Auburn transfer, Lauren Hanson. Basketball back with the Crimson Tide. Driving right baseline is Davis, and the lefty with a layup that is good as she banked it in, driving in from the right side. 10-5 Crimson Tide, 5:39 left to go in this first quarter. Basketball back with Missouri. Troop at the top of the key. Kicks it out to Hanson on the left wing. Hanson guarded closely by Barber. A pass intended for Frank is deflected all the way to Dembele in the left corner. Her 3-pointer off the back iron, no good. And the rebound in transition by Barber. Barber over the timeline left, now to the left wing. 10-5, Alabama with the ball and the 5-point edge. Davis in between the rings. Right wing to Nye. A bounce pass top of the key, deflected by Kelly, but still finds Davis. Davis top of the key, 3. Got it! Brittany Davis grows Alabama's lead to 13-5. 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Couple of makes early for Brittany Davis, a good sign for Alabama. As the 3-pointers are going in, Alabama 5 of 7 from the floor, a perfect 3 of 3 from 3-point land. Frank to Kelly, top of the key. Missouri with the ball once again down by 8. Troop to Frank, left wing 3 on the way. Short on the front iron, the rebound tapped around, and a foul called on Missouri trying to come up with the loose ball. That foul will be called against the Tigers' Dembele, and that will send us to a timeout on the floor. Good start for the Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa with 4:40 left to go in this first quarter. It's a score of Alabama 13, Missouri 5. Back with the rest of the first quarter in a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Left to go in this first quarter. Alabama off to a good start against Missouri. The Crimson Tide with a 13-5 lead. Fans, you can stay up to date with the latest on the Crimson Tide by tuning into Tide TV This Week. Check your local listings for TV times in your area. And remember, Tide TV This Week is also on demand at RollTide.com and the Alabama Athletics YouTube channel. Tide TV This Week hosted by Kinsey Hughes. Crimson Tide with the advantage by 8 for a second time. Well, for the largest lead Alabama's enjoyed today, as Alabama was up early 8-2, and the Crimson Tide overall have been on a 13-3 run against Missouri. Alabama so far shooting the basketball 5 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 3 from three-point land. Did go 0 of 2 at the free throw line, but Missouri only 2 of 6 from the floor, 1 for 4 from three-point land. Mizzou also 0 for 2 at the free throw line, and turnovers avert Missouri. Mizzou only with 1 assist, 3 turnovers to begin this game. Crimson Tide, 2 assists, only 1 turnover. Rebounding battle also so far being led by Alabama. Now, Missouri team that's a little different. Some of the others we'll see in the SEC this season play a little bit more like Alabama. The Crimson Tide usually play 4 guards plus the post player in Jada Rice. Missouri will oftentimes play what look to be 5 guards on the floor. Haley Frank, who stands at 6'1", is listed as a forward, but would be a guard on a lot of teams, and she a lot of times will play the 5. Basketball with Alabama. Davis driving in. Left side layup won't go, and Sarah Rose Smith picks up the rebound as both sides have used their bench out of timeout. Missouri with a different look with Caitlin Gilbert. Running point in between the rings as she has back and forth dribbling. Now she finds Troop on the right wing. Troop, after feeling the pressure, one of the starters that stayed in for Missouri. 10 on the shot clock, finds Gilbert on the right wing. Gilbert looking with 5 in the shot clock, moves to the top of the key. Pull-up jumper inside the arc, banks in, and that's a long 2 to make it 13-7. So off the bench, Caitlin Gilbert is averaging 5 points per game, scores for Missouri, transfer from Notre Dame. Megan Abrams had a big game last game. Right wing 3 on the way is good. She picks up where she left off in Knoxville. A 3-pointer for Abrams, and Alabama leads 16-7. Alabama has not missed so far from three-point land. Basketball back to Missouri. The Crimson Tide a perfect 4 of 4 from beyond the arc. Now top of the key, Frank passing to Smith. Smith on the right wing to Troop. Troop guarded with hands-up defense by Abrams. Pass to Frank driving in on the left side. Double team by McQueen as well as Davis. Back to Troop driving in. Floater in the Crimson paint is short, and the rebound snatched in the 2 hands by Brittany Davis. Davis through traffic over the timeline. Kicks it out to Abrams. Abrams back to Davis, top of the key, the lefty with the three. Short, and the rebound by Carly Weathers, left side of the lane. Back to Abrams, top of the key, her high arching three off the back iron, no good. And the rebound on the right side of the lane by Gilbert. Gilbert in transition, right side of the lane, finds Smith driving in, left side layup good. Good movement down the floor by Missouri. Alabama was really hurt by Tennessee moving so well in transition on Sunday, and there Missouri reminded us a little bit of what Tennessee did in Knoxville. Weathers, top of the key, kicks it out to Abrams. Right corner three on the way. Off the iron, no good, and the rebound by Gilbert. Gilbert slings a pass to the left side. Driving in is Smith. Once again, a left side layup good. Once again, Missouri quickly gets down the floor. Now it's 16-11. Alabama's lead trimmed to 5. 2:20 left to go in this first quarter. Loyal McQueen coming off a career-high 21 points against the Lady Vols. Working with the basketball in between the rings. Now on the right wing to Davis. Davis runs screen by Cobbins to the free throw line. Traveled to the basketball, was going up for a shot. Kind of expected a foul to be called, possibly on Troop, but instead picked up her feet. And the turnover, a rare one so far for the Crimson Tide, giving the basketball back to Missouri. Sarah Ashley Barker back in for Davis. So the Crimson Tide 5 on the floor at the moment. Loyal McQueen, Carly Weathers, Ryan Cobbins, Megan Abrams, and Sarah Ashley Barker. Barker the only starter currently on the floor. Missouri also with just one starter on the floor, that is Haley Frank. Gilbert, top of the key to Smith. Smith has her pass intended for Frank, left side lane, tipped by Cobbins, right to Megan Abrams. Basketball to the Crimson Tide. Abrams to the right corner inside the arc, back on the right wing. Cobbins thought about a three, instead hands off to Abrams. Abrams dribbles inside the arc. Kicks it out to McQueen, left side. McQueen floats it up and puts it up no good, but she had contact, and a foul will be called against Missouri, and a foul called against Avery Kroenke. Minute 42 left to go in this first quarter. Alabama with a 16-11 lead against Missouri. That foul against Kroenke is the third called against Missouri so far. Alabama guilty of just one team foul. Loyal McQueen to the free throw line, the Florence, South Carolina native, an 80% free throw shooter. First one won't go. Off the back iron, a miss for the Crimson Tide and Loyal McQueen. So far, both sides combined 0 of 5 from the free throw line. That changes with the second one for McQueen as she makes her second to make it 17-11 Alabama. Some full court pressure after the make. Quickly inbounded to Gilbert, able to pass out of it to Frank, now to Smith on the right wing. Smith back to Gilbert as everybody catches up for Missouri. Smith driving in from the right side, layup up, banked in off the square to make it 17-13. 4-point Alabama lead, a minute 24 left to go in this first quarter. McQueen saunters over the timeline left. McQueen to the left elbow, top of the key to Barker, and away from the ball. Contact Cobbins against Kroenke, and Cobbins will be called for the offensive foul as Kroenke fell to the floor. Ryan Cobbins called for her first foul, a Kansas City, Kansas native. Transfer from North Dakota State. That's Alabama's second team foul. Mizzou ball facing full court pressure as the inbounds pass comes into Kroenke. Kroenke seeing the pressure subside for a moment, now picked up by Abrams, hurries over the timeline right. Down the left side of the lane, a bounce pass quickly to Smith. Reverse layup from left to right is good. Sarah Rose Smith has come in and has scored 8 points for Missouri, 8 of the 15 for the game. And that's a 2-point Alabama lead in the final minute of this first quarter. McQueen at the top of the key, around the screen by Cobbins. Cobbins at the top of the key to Barker, now in the right corner, Abrams. Abrams dribbles inside the arc. Abrams picked up on defense by Smith, passes to Barker, top of the key. 10 on the shot clock. Barker to the free throw line. Cobbins quickly back to Barker, left side lane, puts it up, puts it in. Sarah Ashley would not be denied getting to the rim, and Alabama's got a 19-15 lead. 33 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Basketball with Missouri. Top of the key, Smith. Smith passes left side of the lane to Judd, but a foul's going to be called as Barker had some contact on Ashton Judd, limiting her movements, and Barker guilty of her first foul and the team's third. 24 seconds left. Weathers, Cobbins go out. Barber and Rice come back in for the Crimson Tide. Missouri with Gilbert to inbound the basketball left baseline. Ready to trigger it in, looking, waiting, and getting it to Smith. Smith passing top of the key to Gilbert. Gilbert dribbling back to the Mississippi border on the state outline, painted at mid-floor. Now Gilbert had a step to the left. Ball nearly tipped away by McQueen. 5 on the shot clock. Frank at the top of the key, and a foul is going to be called against Jada Rice. She came in and had some contact, and for Jada, that's 2 fouls in this first quarter. We still have 8 0.5 seconds left. Fourth team foul, so the ball will still be on the floor. Rice goes out. And the Crimson Tide with Cobbins back in. Inbounds pass quickly to Smith. Driving on the left baseline. Finds Judd, right block. Right side layup banked in. That makes it 19-17. 1 second left. Inbounds pass to McQueen. Doesn't get a shot off, and that ends the first quarter of play. Missouri ends the quarter, hitting its last 5 shots from the floor. And after Alabama had been up by as much as 9 in this first quarter of play, Missouri has made it a ball game at 19-17. Crimson Tide still in front by 2. We'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter at Coleman Coliseum. Quarter in Tuscaloosa, Alabama with a 19-17 lead against Missouri. Tide fans, make sure you watch Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, available on Thursday afternoons at 2 p.m. on all CTSN social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Join us for the latest on Alabama athletics. And if you're watching the Courtside cam right now on all of our social media channels, we first of all say hello and roll Tide, but also on demand, you can catch up with today's edition of Crimson Drive. It's live each Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m. Central, but earlier today on the show, we kind of touched on Alabama's Bryce Young, Will Anderson Jr., Jahmyr Gibbs, their decisions to appear in the NFL draft coming up this April. Also, we had a great one-on-one conversation with Chris Stewart talking about Alabama football and men's basketball, and then we were joined as well by the head coach of the women's basketball team, Christy Curry. As Coach Curry detailed what needs to happen in this game tonight against Missouri, and so far, a lot of good things for Alabama. Leading at 19-17, but off the bench, Sarah Rose Smith, a native of Australia, has played brilliantly for Missouri, scoring 8 of the 17 points for Mizzou. Got off to a slow start offensively, but starting to wake up just a bit. Underway in the second quarter, Crimson Tide with the ball, with Brittany Davis at the top of the key, around a screen by Cobbins to the left. Passing on the left wing to Barker. Barker to the free throw line, right side of the lane. Underhand layup, good. Sarah Ashley Barker grows Alabama's lead back to 4. 21-17 Crimson Tide. Basketball back with Missouri. 9:35 left to go before halftime. Smith, who has stayed in this game, and for good reason, after her good start scoring, passes to Judd in between the circles. A bounce pass to Frank at the top of the key. Frank inside the arc, spins around to the right block, throws it up, and that kicks in. Bailey Frank, using the square to her advantage, makes it 21-19. Alabama's lead back to 2. Barber passes to Barker from left to right. Now on the right wing, a handoff to McQueen. McQueen dances to the top of the key, down the left side lane, throws up her shot. No good off the backboard, and the rebound by Smith right side. Quick pass to Judd, moving down the left side lane, leaves her left side layup short. Rebound Sarah Ashley Barker, and the basketball to Alabama. Tide ball up by 2, just over a minute into the second quarter. A ball that's poked into the backcourt by Gilbert against Barker. Quickly passes to Judd. Judd, left side, underhand layup up, no good. Cobbins with the rebound on the right block. Basketball to Alabama. Really, Judd was looking for a foul or a pass when she went up for that shot, and Alabama gets the ball back. Barber, a handoff to Barker at the top of the key. Around the screen, Barker has a pass intended for McQueen on the left block. McQueen wasn't there just yet, and that goes out of play. A turnover on the Tide. That's now 5 turnovers on Alabama, 4 to this point on Mizzou. Mizzou takes Gilbert off the floor, brings back Kroenke. Avery Kroenke, the 5'11 freshman from Columbia, Missouri, went to Rockbridge High School. Basketball with Mizzou. Rose quickly to the right block, and a shot up no good. Actually, Dembele put up that shot, who is also back on the floor. That shot no good, and she is fouled. And the foul will go against Alabama's Hannah Barber. First foul on Barber, and that will send Mama Dembele, the native of Spain, to the free throw line. She is a 44% free throw shooter, 8 of 18 on the year. First one today is good. 21-20. Chance for Dembele to tie the game at 21. Second free throw on the way. Off the back iron, no good, but movement in the paint and a whistle blown. Loyal McQueen had some contact. 8:18 left to go in the second quarter, 21-20. And Dembele will get to shoot again. With the lane violation, second one is good, so that helps Missouri tie the game at 21. Basketball with the Crimson Tide with McQueen over the timeline right. McQueen and Barber on the floor at the same time, 2 of Alabama's point guards. It's McQueen top of the key to the free throw line. A step back jumper is good. Loyal McQueen, who had a great scoring performance at Tennessee, continues her hot shooting in this one. 23-21 Alabama with 8 minutes to go before halftime. Basketball back with Missouri. Kroenke over the timeline, works to the top of the key. Kroenke accelerates down the left side lane, spins around, moves it back to the top of the key with Frank to Dembele. Dembele shoves it to Frank in the paint, but that goes long, and a turnover, and that gives the basketball to the Crimson Tide. 7:44 left to go in the second quarter. Alabama with a 23-21 lead against Missouri. Haley Frank will get a rare rest. Frank averages 29.5 minutes per game, so she heads out. Kroenke heads out as Missouri brings back in Troop along with Lauren Hansen. McQueen over the timeline left. Alabama with the ball, up by 2, 23-21. McQueen passes top of the key to Davis. Thought about a catch and shoot three. Instead, swings it out to Barker. Right corner three is short, and the rebound, diving for it. Barker to try and save it in play, and it will be saved in play by Alabama. Hansen had the last contact after Sarah Ashley Barker went flying, even knocked down the last chair for the Missouri bench at the very edge of that row. Barker all hustled perfectly, threw it off the left leg of Hansen. Now Barker, left corner, trying to inbound the basketball. Will to McQueen on the right wing. Basketball to McQueen as she moves to the top of the key. McQueen hurries down the left side lane, right to the rim, tries to go up for the shot, but that's blocked at a play by Smith. It'll still be Alabama ball with 12 seconds on the shot clock. 7:20 left to go in the second quarter. Alabama 23 and Missouri 21. McQueen slaps the orange basketball, trying to trigger the inbounds pass into Barber on the right elbow, backs up all the way to the right front court. Shot clock down to 9. Barber, left side lane, throws up a layup. That banks in. Hannah Barber, the perfect touch. Alabama 25, Missouri 21. Excellent work by Barber. Now the basketball back to Mizzou, down 4 with 7 minutes to go before halftime. Smith floats it left side lane to Troop. Troop struggles to make the catch, but finally does. Kicks it back out left wing. A three-pointer no good by Hansen. Rebound left corner by Barker. Here come the Crimson Tide. McQueen over the timeline right. McQueen to the right elbow, top of the key to Davis. Davis, step to the top of the key, a step to the left elbow, spins around in the crimson paint. Left side layup, won't go off the backboard and the rim, and the basketball back with Sarah Rose Smith. Smith for Missouri with the Tigers trailing by 4 to Judd, top of the key. Ashton Judd, after backing up for a moment to Troop. Troop, backing up a couple more steps, guarded by Cobbins. Shot clock down to 10. Davis switches on to Troop. Troop, dribbling down the left side of the lane, backs up, passes to the right wing. That's intercepted, taken away by Barker. Sarah Ashley down the left side of the lane, throws it up, leaves it short, but Barber's there. Barber spins around, and in the spin, went out of play. So the basketball will go back to Missouri after Barker had the clean steal, just read the pass perfectly to the right wing, and nearly had the left side layup. Barber was there for the O board, but then didn't have a chance to put up a shot. 6:05 left to go in the second quarter. It will be Missouri inbounding the basketball with Haley Frank, who's back in the game, as Kroenke heads back to the bench. And also A rest for Sarah Rose Smith, who scored Ada Mizzou's 20 points. Basketball with Missouri, 6 minutes to go before halftime. A 4-point lead for Alabama. Missouri outscored by the Crimson Tide 6-3 so far in the second quarter. A pass for Hanson, tipped away by Barker, but Hanson gets it back. Hanson, left corner to Gilbert, who just re-entered. Gilbert back to Hanson, top of the key to Dembele. Dembele into the Crimson paint, kicks it back out. Gilbert, left wing three is good. 25-24 after the three-pointer by Caitlin Gilbert. 1 point Alabama lead, 5.5 minutes to go before halftime. McQueen, left elbow jumper. That kicks off the iron, no good, and the rebound under the basket hauled in by Hanson. Basketball to Missouri. Dembele left wing. Dembele, bounce pass left block. Gilbert's got it, spins around over Cobbins, throws up a shot, in and out, no good. Rebound in the Crimson paint by McQueen. Basketball the Crimson Tide. McQueen, top of the key. Davis with the three. The lefty with a pure touch. And Alabama's got a 28-24 lead against Missouri. Brittany Davis with another three-pointer for the Crimson Tide. Davis now with 3 in this game. She's got 11 points. 4-point Alabama lead again. Just under 5 minutes to go before halftime. Next dead ball will be immediate timeout. Frank on the right wing. Guarded by Barker. Pass on the right block to Gilbert. Spinning around, a bounce pass top of the key to Dembele. 8 on the shot clock. Dembele at the top of the key. 5 on the shot clock. Dembele in the right corner to Gilbert. 3 on the shot clock. A pass to the top of the key. Dembele left side, throws it up. That's in. However, it is a shot clock violation. Shot clock violation. She knocked down Barber in the act of shooting, and it indeed will be a shot clock violation. And that'll take us to a timeout on the floor. Alabama outscoring Missouri 9-6 in the second quarter, and with 4:35 left to go before halftime, it's Alabama 28, Missouri 24. Back with the rest of the first half next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Time Alabama 28 and Missouri 24. Coming up, we will have the Toyota halftime report, first half stats and scores from around the country, including the SEC. It's Alabama trying to improve to 2-1 in SEC play. Also, with a victory, would hand Missouri its first loss in conference play after the Tigers have posted wins against Kentucky and last Sunday at Auburn. Speaking of Auburn, that's where Alabama will be headed next. Make sure you join us coming up on Sunday at 4 p.m. Our radio coverage down from the Plains, down to Neville Arena. Will start at 3:55 in the rivalry matchup between the Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers. Alabama led so far by Brittany Davis, 11 points, 2 rebounds for Davis on the night, 7 points, 4 rebounds. A good showing so far from Sarah Ashley Barker. And then 4 points from Hannah Barber, 3 each from Loyal McQueen, Megan Abrams. Meanwhile, Missouri led by Sarah Rose Smith, who's only played 8 minutes in this game, but has scored 8 points. Basketball with Alabama out of timeout with 4:35 left to go in this second quarter. The inbounds pass comes in to Loyal McQueen. McQueen facing some backcourt pressure from Dembele, dribbles over Scripte and Crimson at midfloor, now passes to Abrams on the left wing, and Abrams picked up her feet, traveled to the basketball, was barely getting set, and committed the turnover, which is Alabama's 7th of the game. Both Alabama and Missouri with 7 turnovers. Basketball back to Mizzou. Mohamed Dembele dribbling with the basketball on the left front court. Passes to Frank, then a quick handoff back to Dembele as she angles to the right wing, now shifts back to the top of the key. A pass intended for Frank at top of the key, stolen by Davis. Davis driving right side, nearly lost the ball, spins around, throws it back up. No good on that shot. Had an offensive rebound for a moment, then it was touched last by Missouri under the basket, so it'll still be Crimson Tide ball with 4:03 left to go in this second quarter. Alabama 28, Missouri 24. Again, 4:03 left to go in quarter number 2. And foul at the top of the key, and an offensive foul called against Brittany Davis. Some contact with Gilbert, waiting for the ball to come in, and the foul against Davis. Both of them just jockeying for position at the top of the key, and evidently enough to call the foul on Davis as Christy Curry seeks explanation on that call from Katie Lukanich right next to the Alabama bench. Inbounds pass thrown into Gilbert. 4 minutes left to go before halftime. A 4-point Alabama lead, but Missouri working with the ball. Frank to Hansen in the left front court. Hansen, and a foul called against Missouri. Frank at the top of the key, and that may be a makeup for what we just saw a moment ago. That's Frank's second foul. And the basketball back to Alabama. In terms of team fouls, 2 on Alabama, 1 on Missouri, with only 3:52 left to go in this second quarter. Crimson Tide with Brittany Davis will inbound the basketball. Davis on a bounce to Loyal McQueen. And McQueen over the timeline left. McQueen working inside, now kicks it back out in the right wing to Abrams. Abrams backing up a few steps, now a bounce pass to Cobbins at the free throw liner. Back to the basket, looking for help, and a whistle blown and foul called away from the ball on Missouri, and that will go against Haley Troop. Gadsden native called for her first and the team's second. Missouri will sub in Sarah Linthicum forward, a 6'3" sophomore from Jefferson City, Missouri, which is Jefferson City High School. Sister Micah also on the team. Inbounds pass into Abrams on the right baseline. She backs up to the right wing. Abrams now works inside the arc, spins around right side of the lane, double team, throws up a shot that is no good, and also traveled to the ball. So the turnovers mounting for the Crimson Tide and for Missouri to a degree. Both sides now with 9 turnovers in this first half. 9 turnovers. That will give the ball back to Missouri. 3:26 left to go in the second quarter. Tigers trailing 28-24. Both sides committing a lot of turnovers. Alabama 4 in the last 3.5 minutes. Missouri 3 in the last 2:15. Mizzou hasn't scored in nearly 2.5 minutes. Smith, top of the key, passes to Hansen in the paint, kicks it back out. Gilbert left corner 3 off the iron. Rebound, fought for, and a foul called going for the rebound, and that'll be called on Alabama's Ryan Cobbins. Second foul on Cobbins. Third team foul on the Crimson Tide. Basketball on the floor with Missouri with Gilbert on the right baseline to inbound the ball. Ready to trigger the inbounds pass, comes into Troop. Troop driving on the right baseline, stepped on the baseline just to the third A in Alabama. And that will give the basketball back to Missouri, or to the Crimson Tide. Basketball with Alabama. With Barber over the timeline. Now to Abrams on the right wing to Rice. Rice feels the pressure, kicks it back out to Barber in the right corner. Barber around the screen by Rice, dribbles to the right elbow, now top of the key, Abrams. Here comes a 3 off the back iron, no good, and the rebound, Hansen, left side lane. Basketball to Missouri. Missouri with Hansen finding Smith in the left corner. Her 3 is too strong, and the rebound by Linthicum, able to find Gilbert. Gilbert to Smith in the crimson paint, spins around, throws up a shot, and that's good despite contact from Rice. So a chance at a 3-point play for Sarah Rose Smith. 28-26. Now Jada Rice committing 3 fouls all in the first half. Janet Cunningham checks in, 6'4" junior from Brentwood, New York, the West Virginia transfer, with Smith going to the free throw line. Native of Victoria, Australia, a 73% free throw shooter. This is her first trip to the line today. And 1 is good. 28-27, a 1-point Alabama lead. Crimson Tide have not scored in the last 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Barber With the basketball around the screen by Cunningham, now at the top of the key, out to Abrams, driving on the right baseline, spins around under the basket, guarded by Linthicum, passes in the paint to Nye, but she lost control of it. Smith picks it up, baseball pass out in front to Judd. She beats everybody, right side layup good. Missouri in front, 29-28. Good hustle once again down the floor. Judd especially has done that in her time on the floor, beating everybody in transition. Now it's Barber, a hand check foul called to Missouri against Gilbert just as she was moving against Cunningham. First foul on Gilbert. Third team foul on Missouri. Alabama's at 14 fouls. Abrams will head out. Carly Weathers, the freshman, back in. 1:54 left to go in the second quarter. Now it's Alabama trailing 29-28. Crimson Tide in the midst of a 3-minute, 16-second scoring drought. Weathers, a bounce pass into Cunningham. Weathers at the top of the key, down to Davis at the right wing. Her three is off the backboard, too strong. Rebound Linthicum in the crimson paint. Basketball to Mizzou. Smith was moving in transition, lost her footing, tips the ball to the right wing, and there is Gilbert to retrieve it. Gilbert back to Smith on the right wing, closer to the corner. Now Smith driving in, finds an open Linthicum in the paint. Her shot up, no good, but she is fouled by Cunningham. 2 free throws coming up for Linthicum. Cunningham with her first foul, 5th team foul. Missouri's in the bonus. The remaining 1 minute, 33 seconds in this second quarter. Cobbins comes back in. Ryan Cobbins for Alabama replacing Cunningham, picking up that foul. So that'll send Sarah Linthicum to the line. 57% free throw shooter, knocks down the first. Mizzou 30, Alabama 28. Tigers now outscoring the Tide 13-9 in the second quarter. 6-0 run for Mizzou. Second free throw no good. Barber reaches up, picks up the rebound. Basketball to Crimson Tide. Then a foul in the backcourt on Judd, limiting the movements of Barker. All of a sudden, the officials have found the whistle on both sides. Now 4 team fouls in Mizzou. Alabama just picked up its 5th. Inbounds pass from Davis to Barber. Barber over the timeline right. Alabama with the ball down by 2. Crimson Tide just one of its last 7 shooting from the floor. Davis, left wing, passes top of the key to Nye. Nye around the screen. Right elbow jumper is good. Aaliyah Nye breaks the scoring drought and ties this game at 30. Minute 10 left to go in the second quarter. Basketball back with Missouri. A brand new game, even at 30. 1 minute left to go before halftime. Smith at the top of the key. To Judd on the right wing. Judd, dribble to the left. Now a pass on the right wing. Hansen back to Judd, top of the key. To Gilbert on the left wing. Gilbert to Judd, top of the key. Her pass is tipped. Nye has it loose and out of play. It'll still be Missouri basketball, but Nye tipped it to the left sideline. Really hands up play when Alabama needed it by Aaliyah Nye. 49 seconds left to go before halftime. Inbounds pass into Hansen. Hansen at the top of the key, picked up on defense by Barber. Started drive in. Barber tipped the ball right to Davis. Davis through traffic. Hurries to the basketball left side, down the left side of the lane. Throws it up, banks it in. Brittany Davis after the steal by Barber. Davis scores. Alabama in front, 32-30. 28 seconds left to go in this second quarter. Still is a difference of about a half second in between the game clock and the shot clock. So Gilbert noticing that, idle dribbling left to right at mid-floor. She'll be picked up on defense by Nye. Tied in front by 2, but Missouri with the ball. Gilbert, bounce pass to Judd, right wing. 8 seconds left. Judd driving in right side, banks in her shot, no good as it swirled off the rim. 3 seconds left. Davis with the basketball to midcourt. Heaves it at the buzzer, and the lefty has that go off the back iron, and that closes out the second quarter. A second quarter where both sides scored 13 points, so it's Alabama with the 2-point edge as the teams head to the locker rooms at Coleman Coliseum. Toyota halftime report up next. Once again, our score in Tuscaloosa. Alabama 32, Missouri 30. Back with the Toyota halftime report next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Alabama 32 and Missouri 30. Roger Hoover, glad to welcome you to the Toyota Halftime Report. First of all, the halftime stats delivered by Assurance Financial. In less time than halftime, you could apply for a mortgage at assuranceMortgage.com. Well, the Crimson Tide with a 2-point edge at halftime. It was Alabama up by 2 at the end of the first quarter, 19-17, and then both sides scoring at 13 points each in the second quarter. So once again, Alabama up by 2. Alabama shot the ball 46% from the floor in the first half, 13 of 28, 5 of 11 from three-point land, and then the Crimson Tide 1 of 4 at the free throw line. For Missouri, shot the ball 50% in the first half, 12 of 24, 2 of 8 from three-point land, 4 of 7 at the free throw line. In terms of rebounding, Alabama out-rebounding Missouri 17-13. Missouri also with 7 assists compared to 11 turnovers, 3 steals, and a block. Alabama 4 assists, but 10 turnovers. Turnovers especially mounted for the Crimson Tide in the second quarter of play. If you go back to what the Crimson Tide did back in the first quarter of play, Alabama only committed 3 turnovers. So 7 turnovers compared to 1 assist in the second quarter for Alabama. Took away from what the offense was trying to do. Crimson Tide also with 5 steals, 2 by Brittany Davis, and then 1 block so far. That was by Loyal McQueen. Top scorer has been Brittany Davis for Alabama. She has 13 points, 7 by Sarah Ashley Barker, and then 4 by Hannah Barber, 2 by Aaliyah Nye, 3 each by Loyal McQueen and Megan Abrams. Missouri led by the 11 points off the bench of Sarah Rose Smith. In only 13 minutes, she has scored 11 points to lead Missouri in scoring. Alabama 32, Missouri 30, the halftime score. We will step aside, and when we come back, take a look at some other scores around SEC women's basketball on this busy Thursday night. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. trying to improve to 3-0 in the league. It is Kentucky off to a surprising 0-2 start in league play, up 29-23 at Georgia at halftime. Coming up later tonight, it is Florida against Arkansas. That game will tip off at Bud Walton Arena in just 8 minutes. And then in an hour and 8 minutes, it will be Texas A&M facing Kim Mulkey and 7th ranked and 2-0 in the SEC, LSU. So that's a look at the Alabama Power scoreboard on this Thursday night. Our score at halftime here, Alabama 32 and Missouri 30. Back with more of the Toyota Halftime Report in just a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Alabama with a 32-30 lead against Mizzou. What to expect in the second half, presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. With zero sugar and refreshingly delicious, is Coca-Cola Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. Well, it's the Crimson Tide in front by 2, and expect Alabama to try and limit the turnovers. Just take care of the basketball, as we saw Alabama do a very good job of that in the first quarter, as the Crimson Tide only turned the ball over 3 times, but then 7 turnovers compared to only 1 assist in the second quarter, and that helped Missouri creep back in this game. Also, the Crimson Tide need to keep playing strong defense against especially Haley Frank. Frank, who averages 15 points per game, preseason All-SEC selection. She's been held to only 2 points so far, 1 of 3 shooting for Frank, and she has missed her first 2 3-point attempts. Expect that to change a bit. She will get her points coming up in the second half, but Alabama's got to keep her in check. Can't allow Haley Frank to beat you. Then for the Crimson Tide offensively, keep finding opportunities, especially for Hannah Barber, who has not attempted a three-pointer yet. Also, if the Crimson Tide can get Aaliyah Nye going from three-point land, both of those two had a tough time finding their shot against Tennessee. But if they do, you complement that with what Brittany Davis, Megan Abrams are doing, Alabama's going to be really hard to beat. So that's part of the strategy coming up for the Crimson Tide in this second half of play, again with a 2-point lead against Missouri, 32-30. That does it for the Toyota Halftime Report. As the teams are about to return to the floor, you can visit your local Toyota dealers or go to Toyota.com now. Take advantage of the amazing deals on our full line of vehicles. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Toyota, let's go places. Next up is the third quarter of action with the score, Alabama 32, Missouri 30. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. the second half. Alabama with a 2-point lead as we start to wrap up the Toyota halftime report. 32-30, Alabama with the edge at the break. Before the teams return to the floor, why don't we pause 10 seconds for station identification. That's 10 seconds for a station ID. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Back to Coleman Coliseum, a place that's going to be busy coming up tomorrow. Of course, we have gymnastics. The Ashley Johnston era will get going tomorrow against Michigan State. Look forward to that. Look forward to men's basketball on Saturday as well against Kentucky. But right now, it's women's basketball. This is Roger Hoover with you courtside. Our game being produced by Jerry Kelly back at our Learfield studios. And Ethan Caravan is on hand producing the online stream. You can see his hands and arms. You cannot see his face on Facebook Live just yet, but maybe post-game. We'll see. As we resume action in this game, Alabama with a 2-point lead, and the Crimson Tide will have Aaliyah Nye, Sarah Ashley Barker, Ryan Cobbins, Brittany Davis, and Hannah Barber on the floor. Cobbins is the only non-starter on the floor. That's because Jada Rice, a starter for the Crimson Tide, picked up 3 fouls in the first half. So we'll see when she comes back in. Missouri ball to come back out of the halftime break. Now playing on the left goal, Alabama on the right, Missouri in the road black uniforms with the gold numerals, Alabama in the home white with crimson numerals, playing in Tuscaloosa. Critical home game, especially early in the year against a 2-0 Missouri team in the SEC. Alabama 1-1. 10 on the shot clock. Mizzou first possession. Dembele to the left corner. Troop catcher release 3 is good. The Gadsden native, you hear cheers in the stand. She has friends and family here. Troop puts Mizzou in front 33-32. 9:25 left to go in the third quarter. First possession for the Crimson Tide in the second half. Barker to Barber, head fake by her. Now it's Barker around the screen, spins around to Barber at the top of the key. Barber bounce pass to Davis. Davis cuts into the paint, kicks it back out. Left corner 3, Aaliyah Nye is good. That's what Alabama needed. Aaliyah Nye with a 3-pointer, and it's Alabama 35, Missouri 33. Frenzied first minute of action. Both sides knocking down a 3-pointer. Troop and Nye trading long balls to begin this third quarter. Basketball with Missouri. Top of the key, Frank. On the left wing to Hanson. She loads up a 3 and she connects. More 3-pointers, and once again Mizzou in front by a point, 36-35. Basketball going back to the Crimson Tide with Barber. Over the timeline right to Barker. Quickly back to Barber in between the rings. Barber around the screen. To the left elbow, passes top of the key to Barker. Head fake by her, driving down the left side, lost control of the ball, stolen away by Hanson. Hanson on a fast break for Missouri. Driving, right side layup, too strong. Nye with a rebound in the crimson paint, basketball to Alabama. Nye over the middle of the timeline, top of the key to Davis. Davis, a couple steps to the left side, working at the top of the key. Now motors down the left side lane, backs up to the left wing, back inside the arc, spins around left block. Went up for a shot that's tipped out of play by Hanson. Actually, a foul's going to be called against Hanson. Lauren Hanson picking up her first foul, first team foul against Missouri in the third quarter. 8:09 left to go in this third quarter. Alabama trailing Missouri 36-35. Barber will quickly talk with Christy Curry just as Brittany Davis goes to the line for the first time today. Davis, a 71% free throw shooter. First one on the way is good. Tie game at 36. Third time this game has been tied. Here comes Davis with free throw number 2. Got it. 2-for-2 trip. Alabama back in front by a point. 37-36. And full court pressure after the make. Dembele double team by Barber and Davis. The ball poked out of play. Last touch by Dembele. Basketball to the Crimson Tide. Sarah Ashley Barker combining with Brittany Davis with stifling defense leading to the Missouri turnover. Basketball with the Crimson Tide. Left corner just on the sideline. Barker quickly into Davis. Davis driving in a few steps back to the left wing to Barker. Barker down the right side lane, spins around the block, floats it up. Too strong. The rebound goes back to Barker only for a moment, then through her hands right to Haley Troop. Basketball to Missouri. Troop over the timeline. Troop starting to drive in. Left side layup blocked by Davis, but before that a foul called. Well, a foul called on Brittany Davis. Second foul on Brittany Davis. And the basketball will be with Missouri at the free throw line with Haley Troop. First trip to the line today for Troop, an 88% free throw shooter, one of the best on the team. First one on the way. rattles in. Tie game at 37. Troop from Gadsden went to Gadsden City High School, was a McDonald's All-American nominee there. Missouri subbed in Jayla Kelly. Free throw, got it. 38-37, also Alabama with Kelly coming back in the game for Missouri. Answers with some size. Kelly stands at 6'3". Jada Rice back in the game. She stands at 6'4". Rice has got to be careful. Picked up 3 fouls in the first half that limited her minutes. Barker to Barber, beating the press from left to right over the timeline. Now Barber. Picked up on defense by Dembele. A bounce pass to the right elbow to Barker. Quick handoff back to Barber. Barber to the top of the key. Barker, three-pointer on the way. Short, and the rebound on the left elbow to Troop. Basketball with Missouri up by a point. 7:20 left to go in this third quarter. Troop at the top of the key. Troop on the left wing, Dembele. Dembele to Frank. Turnaround jumper left baseline, too strong. Rebound right block by Jada Rice. Basketball to Alabama. Barber hurries over the timeline left. Barber at the top of the key. Pops a three-pointer. Short on the front iron, and the rebound tipped around, out of play over the baseline. Last touch by Alabama, and the basketball to Missouri. 6:57 left to go in this third quarter. Basketball with Mizzou up 38-37, outscoring Alabama 8-5 so far in this third quarter. Inbounds pass right to Frank, dealing with some of the pressure to Troop, still in the backcourt, picked up on defense by Cobbins and Nye and Barker, I should say. Finally beat the press. Dembele on the left baseline, scans her options, goes top of the key to Troop. Troop guarded with hands-up defense by Nye. A handoff to Dembele on the Georgia border of the state outline. Dembele dances to the top of the key. Down the left side and left corner. 5 in the shot clock. Dembele driving. Her shot blocked in transition by Sarah Ashley Barker. Ball to Nye. Nye, bounce pass left side for Davis. Went too long on the floor, is tipped out of play by diving Haley Frank. The ball will still belong to Alabama, but lucky that wasn't a turnover. Quickly into another turnover. Barber getting set for the inbounds pass left baseline. Megan Abrams will check back in for Alabama, replacing Sarah Ashley Barker. 6:23 left to go in the third quarter. Alabama trailing Mizzou 38-37. Barber inbounds to Rice. Quickly back to Barber. Barber passes top of the key to Davis. Hurries down the right side lane to the rim. Lays it up. Lays it in. Used the backboard to her advantage. And now Alabama leads 39-38. Back and forth. This game continues to go. Basketball with Missouri with Troop at the top of the key. Troop in between the rings to Dembele. Dembele with 6 minutes to go in this third quarter. Passes to Kelly. Kelly, post player, pulled away from the basket. Now spins around the SEC logo. Her jumper, an air ball, and that will give the ball back to Alabama as that was completely under the backboard, rim, and net. Basketball going to the Crimson Tide. 5:52 left to go in this third quarter. Alabama with a 39-38 lead against Missouri. Inbounds pass from Davis into Barber. Barber against Dembele on defense. Works the ball over the timeline. Barber with Dembele swatting at the basketball. Barber moves a step to the left. A bounce pass on the left wing to Davis. Bounce pass intended for Rice. Loose on the floor, left side lane. Both sides trying to tie it up. Possession arrow favors Alabama with 11 on the shot clock. So with that jump ball, Alabama will keep possession. Sarah Ashley Barker back into this game along with Loyal McQueen. Loyal McQueen getting set for her inbounds pass on the left baseline. 11 on the shot clock for Alabama to work with. McQueen into Rice. She's got it. Right block. Right side layup good. Alabama 41. Missouri 38. Excellent baseline out of bounds play. Run to perfection by the Crimson Tide. And Jada Rice with the finish. 5:20 left to go in this third quarter. Rose kicks it out top on the left wing to Frank. Now the top of the key to Troop. Guarded by Brittany Davis. Back in the left wing to Frank. Frank makes a move inside, works it back to Smith in the left corner. Smith dribbles to the left elbow, lost control of the ball. A steal by Brittany Davis. Driving, no one in front. Right side layup, got it. The steal, the score, Brittany Davis. Alabama grows the lead to 43-38. A timeout, Missouri will step aside as well. Crimson Tide growing the lead to 43-38 as we are midway through the third quarter in Tuscaloosa. Back with more in just a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. With a 43-38 lead against Missouri. We still have 5 minutes left to go in this third quarter here in Tuscaloosa. Special thank you to Alabama One Credit Union, a proud supporter of Crimson Tide women's athletics. For the Crimson Tide, Alabama on a 6-0 run over the last 1 minute, 15 seconds. With that, Alabama's hit its last 3 shots on the floor. Missouri has actually missed on its last 4 shots. Now the Tigers with a 2 minute, 46-second scoring drought so far. So Alabama again with the 5-point lead. The Crimson Tide outscoring Missouri 11-8 so far in this third quarter. Brittany Davis picking up the scoring for the Crimson Tide. 19 points for Davis, so she is responsible for 6 of Alabama's 11 points so far in this third quarter, but really being active hands defensively. That's led to some steals. Alabama has stolen the ball 7 times already in this game, 2 of them in this third quarter of play. So the Crimson Tide growing the lead to 5 points with 5 minutes left to go in this third quarter. It was a called timeout by Missouri. And we may get the next media timeout in just a moment on the very next dead ball. The media clock is at 5. So that was our first called timeout, and we may be stepping aside again in just a matter of moments. So to our operators down the line, don't go too far. Here is inbounds pass from Troop right to Smith. Smith lets the pressure subside to Troop, and now Troop to Smith, finally over the timeline for Missouri. Dembele, left wing 3, off the iron, no good, and the rebound tipped out of play by Barker, and the basketball will stay with Missouri. And like we mentioned, we'll once again go to a timeout on the floor. 4 minutes, 49 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Still the score, Alabama 43, Missouri 38. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. .449 left to go in the third quarter from Coleman Coliseum. Alabama 43 and Missouri 38. Make sure you listen to Hey Coach from Baumhauer's Victory Grill Monday night, 6 p.m. on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We'll be joined by head coach Nate Oates, plus Alabama head coaches and student athletes all throughout the rest of the school year. We will go starting on Monday after we've had a couple weeks off for the holidays, and then we'll be back with another edition of Hey Coach each Monday night at 6 p.m. from now through the end of April. Hey Coach presented by Alpha Insurance, of course, on our radio network, on the Varsity Network app, and we will have a video stream available as well. Let's see, we have the booth cam, we have the courtside cam. I don't know what we call the Hey Coach camera. Live stream, video live stream, the Baumhauer's cam, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But we will have that coming up for the rest of the school year again. Lots to talk about with Alabama basketball. We mentioned gymnastics starting tomorrow against Michigan State. Wish Ashley Johnston and the Crimson Tide the best in the season opener in gymnastics. But right now, basketball. Missouri out of timeout with Gilbert. Left side layup, good. So solid play drawn up by Robin Pinston out of timeout. Makes it 43-40. Alabama with a 3-point lead. 4.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Basketball with Davis top of the key to Abrams. Abrams dribble to the left, now passes on the right wing to Davis. Davis driving in against Troop on the right side, spins around, floats it back to the top of the key to Abrams. Abrams with 10 on the shot clock. Bounce pass to Barker, right elbow extended. Barker to the free throw line, trying to spin around, working left side lane, throws up her shot, no good, but she draws a foul. And Sarah Ashley Barker to the free throw line for Alabama. Gilbert called for the foul. That'll be her second, and Missouri with 2 team fouls in this third quarter. That will send Sarah Ashley to the free throw line. Barker, a 63% free throw shooter. Last game, 5 points, 3 rebounds against Tennessee. Tonight against Missouri, 7 points, 4 rebounds. First free throw, good. Alabama 44, Missouri 40. 4:13 left to go in this third quarter. One more for Barker. Off the iron, no good. A fight for the rebound between Davis and Smith, won by Sarah Rose Smith. Basketball with Missouri following her tough defensive rebounds. Frank to Smith, Smith to Gilbert, over script A at midfloor, and a whistle blown, and time was called. So the basketball going back to Crimson Tide off the turnover. 10-second call against Missouri, taking too much time trying to move the ball past midfloor. So with Barker on the right sideline, the inbounds pass to McQueen in the backcourt. She calls it a play with her right hand as she pounds the left-handed dribble. Works to the top of the key, has her pass tipped, but it finds Barker on the right wing. Back to McQueen at the top of the key, back to Barker, top of the key. Here's Davis driving in. Floater in the paint will rattle home. Brittany Davis now at over 20 points with 21 in this ball game. A 6-point Alabama lead. Missouri trying to battle the press. Judd over the middle of the timeline. Judd into the Crimson paint. Tries to go up for a shot. No good on the shot, but a foul called against Alabama's Megan Abrams. Abrams called for her first foul today. Second team foul against the Crimson Tide in quarter number 3. That'll send Missouri to the free throw line with Ashton Judd, the 6'1 freshman from West Plains, Missouri. 79% free throw shooter. Her first one here is good. 46-41. Alabama in a good stretch offensively. The Crimson Tide hitting its last 4 shots from the floor. Judd's second, good as well. 46-42. Back to a 4-point lead. Alabama facing backcourt pressure from Judd along with Kroenke and Gilbert, and Hansen, I beg your pardon, instead of Kroenke. Subsides as Barker works over the timeline right. Now Barker in between the rings to McQueen. McQueen to Barker on the left wing. Barker dribbling to the top of the key. Passes to Davis, left wing. Here comes the 3. Off the back iron, no good, but the rebound, Jada Rice over everybody, and then she's fouled in the act of rebounding. So a foul called against Missouri. Jada Rice, excellent work. Haley Frank called for the foul. Third on Frank. Frank, only 2 points, has not scored in the second half. Inbounds past McQueen, left baseline, heaves it in to midfloor to Abrams. Abrams at the top of the key. Abrams driving down the left side lane, throws it up, leaves it short, and the rebound pulled in this time by Frank under the basket in the Crimson paint. Basketball to Missouri. Gilbert over the timeline left. Gilbert floats it up in the paint, banks in her shot. The Notre Dame transfer makes it a 2-point game at 46-44. Alabama up by 2 with the ball with 2:50 remaining in quarter number 3. Basketball with McQueen to Barker at the top of the key. Barker to McQueen. Head fake back to Barker on the right wing. Now on the right baseline to Rice. Rice playing with those 3 fouls. Into the paint, throws it up left side, banks in her shot. Alabama 48, Missouri 44. Jada Rice with a tough 2. Basketball to Missouri with Judd over the timeline left. Gives the basketball to Gilbert. Top of the key, Smith. Smith looking right. Instead will dribble right to the right wing. Hand off to Hansen. Hansen drifting back to the right front courts. Now Hansen around the screen at the top of the key. To Smith. 8 on the shot clock. Smith spinning around in the paint. Underhand layup. Kicks out, no good. Hansen with the rebound for a moment. The ball tipped out of play and will stay with Missouri. Alabama bringing back in Hannah Barber to replace Loyal McQueen. 2:05 left to go in this third quarter. Also Carly Weathers back in the game for her first action in this second half of play. Weathers played 6 minutes, did not score, did pick up a rebound in the first half. Missouri, right baseline, inbounds pass in the left block to Judd. Spin around jumper, rattles in. Ashton Judd scores again as Missouri's been very effective on baseline out of bounds plays in this game. Under 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Alabama lead down to 2. Barker at the top of the key, couple steps to the right side. Barker Passes to Barber at the top of the key. Couple steps to the left side. She moves to the right wing. A handoff there to Abrams. Abrams at the top of the key. Zigzags in the paint. Right to the rim. Layup up. Layup kicks in for Megan Abrams. And a foul called on Missouri will send Abrams to the line for a chance at one more. It's Alabama 50, Missouri 46. Ashton Judd called for the foul, her second, and the fourth team foul against Missouri. Very tricky shot that hit the left side of the rim, the right side of the rim before it fell down through the net to give Megan Abrams her fifth point of the game. Abrams to the line, an and one opportunity, a 79% free throw shooter. This is up. This is in. Alabama 51, Missouri 46. Back to a 5-point Alabama lead. There was contact in the paint after the made free throw between Barker as well as Judd. So Barker called for her second foul. Third team foul against Alabama. Missouri will go the length of the floor with no backcourt pressure from the Crimson Tide as Judd inbounds the basketball to Gilbert. Gilbert has got 9 points in this game. Dribbling to the top of the key. Well, let's the offense set up. Pass to Hanson, right wing. Hanson backs up to the right front court, right wing to Gilbert, right corner Judd. Here comes the three-pointer, that's good. Ashton Judd continuing a solid performance as she's got 11 points, and it's Alabama 51, Missouri 49. Basketball with the Crimson Tide, a minute 10 remaining in the third quarter. Barber to the free throw line, jumper on the way, swirls off the rim, no good. Rebound, Rice in the paint, throws it back up. This rattles back home. 53-49 Crimson Tide, thanks to the rebound, then the score by Jada Rice. Gilbert driving, right side layup off the window, banks in. 53-51, both sides stepping up the scoring. Alabama back with the basketball with 49 seconds left in this third quarter. Top of the key, Barker. Dribbling now to the right side lane, lost her footing for a moment. Passes top of the key to Barber, head fake by her. Barber to Abrams, top of the key. Thought about a three. Instead, left side lane, she drives. Throws it up and throws it out of play. Deflected by Missouri out of play. Crimson Tide will have the ball with 13 left in the shot clock. 35 seconds left to go in this third quarter. It's Alabama 53, Missouri 51. Crimson Tide will go to its bench with Davis and Nye checking back in, replacing Barker and Weathers. Missouri, meanwhile, brings in Kroenke. And Hanson goes out. Right baseline, Barber slaps the basketball to trigger the inbounds pass, and contact underneath. Offensive foul called on Jada Rice. And for Rice, that is a costly foul. That is her fourth foul with 35 seconds left to go in the third quarter. So with that, Rice will head out. Ryan Cobbins will check back in for the Crimson Tide. Mizzou ball, 35 seconds left to go in the third quarter, only down by 2 points. 4-second difference in between the game clock and the shot clock as Gilbert moves over the timeline. Couple steps to the right front court. Pass to the top of the key to Kroenke, to Smith left side, then to Frank left block. Frank to the right block, and a right side layup is good to tie this game at 53. Haley Frank with only her second basket of the game. 12 seconds left. Here comes a three by Nye. Left side is short, and the rebound by Kroenke. Left side lane, Mizzou ball with 5 seconds left. Kroenke nearly lost it, gives to Frank. Frank with 3 seconds, 2 second, one, heaves it at the buzzer, and that one is good. They will take a look at the monitor, but Haley Frank putting Missouri in front, 56-53. Shot from directly in between the state outline and the top of the key in the three-point line, and Haley Frank scoring 5 points right before the third quarter comes to a close, and Missouri closes out the third quarter on a 7-0 run. Officials will go to the monitor to take a look at that last three-point attempt by Frank, but at the moment it's good, and we'll sort everything out when we come back to Tuscaloosa. And actually, they've just given the signal it was made before the buzzer. So Missouri 56, Alabama 53, 10 more minutes to go. We'll be back at the start of the fourth quarter in a moment. 56-53 lead against Alabama. A reminder, you can keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app presented by Cadence Bank. You can download the Crimson Tide mobile app now for free at the App Store as well as on Google Play. So Missouri with a 56-53 lead. Alabama had held Haley Frank in check for so long, but now she's up to 7 points, and she scored the final 5 points of the third quarter. A tough 2 right at the basket, a reverse layup from left to right, and then a 3-point buzzer beater, making it 56-53 Missouri. As again, the Tigers close out the quarter on a 7-0 run. Frank, along with Kroenke, Rose, Judd, who's had a good performance, as well as Gilbert on the floor for Missouri. Alabama to start the fourth quarter with Loyal McQueen, Ryan Cobbins, Brittany Davis, Megan Abrams on the floor for the Crimson Tide, as well as Leah Nye. Basketball with Missouri, with Gilbert on the right wing. Bounce pass to the top of the key, tipped by Davis, but still controlled by Judd. Judd back on the right wing to Gilbert. Gilbert looking low, instead a pass on the right corner to Smith. Smith to the top of the key, Gilbert, 10 on the shot clock. Gilbert back and forth dribbling, now at the top of the key. Gilbert floats it to Frank. Turnaround jumper at the free throw line is good. She can't miss. 58-53, Missouri now in front by 5, and this is the largest lead of the game for Missouri. Basketball, the Crimson Tide with Loyal McQueen. McQueen at the top of the key. On the right wing, Abrams. Abrams driving under the basket. Kicks it out in the left corner to Nye, then on the left wing to Davis. Davis dribbling at the top of the key. Davis hurries down the left side lane, throws it up, swirls off the rim, no good, and the rebound in the Crimson paint by Sarah Rose Smith. Basketball to Missouri, up by 5. 1 minute deep into the fourth quarter. Bounce pass to Frank on the left wing, now top of the key to Smith, then Judd on the right wing. Judd passing on the left wing to Frank. Frank starting to drive in, feeling the pressure from McQueen, and Cobbins spins a pass back out, and a timeout taken by Missouri, knowing that possession was nearly over with a turnover for Missouri, so Robin Pinchton calls timeout. We'll step aside as well. 8:42 left to go in the fourth quarter. It's Missouri 58, Alabama 53. Go in this fourth quarter, it's Alabama trailing Missouri 58-53. After the game is over, make sure you join us for the Regions postgame show. We'll be joined by head coach Christy Curry. We'll have the final stats and more, plus get your Alabama Visa check card from Regions. Visit regions.com/GoBama to order yours today. Well, Missouri, after trailing Alabama 53-49, we have seen the Tigers go on solid run, a 9-0 run essentially, 7-0 to close out the third quarter, and then Haley Frank had 2 to begin the scoring in the fourth quarter. Missouri had gotten a stop against Alabama and was working with the ball when the Tigers nearly turned it over, so Robin Pinchton wisely called for a timeout. Alabama's won 3 of the last 4 meetings in this series. The Tigers did win in Tuscaloosa last season, 77-61, and these teams will meet later on this season in Columbia, Missouri. But Right now, Alabama at 1-1 in the SEC, hosting a 2-0 Missouri team. Crimson Tide with some work to do at 8:42 still. A long way to go in this fourth quarter. Gilbert, left baseline. Her inbounds pass floated in top of the key to Frank, who catches it with her left hand. 5 in the shot clock, and Frank knocking down Barker, and a charge is called against Haley Frank. Fourth foul on Frank. It comes with 8:39 left to go in the fourth quarter. Basketball with Crimson Tide. Frank guilty of the first foul in this fourth quarter on either side. Basketball with Loyal McQueen. A quick handoff to the top of the key. Davis to Abrams. Davis also at the top of the key. Around the screen to the left elbow. Back on the right wing. Here's Davis with a three. Off the iron, no good. The rebound tipped out of play. Last touch by Alabama. So the ball will go to Missouri. Fans sitting courtside on the right sideline disagree. But the basketball to Missouri. 8:24 left to go in this fourth quarter. Kroenke comes in to replace Frank. And the inbounds pass into Hansen. 8:22 left to go in this fourth quarter. Missouri with the ball up 58-53. Gilbert in between the rings with McQueen swatting with the left hand in the basketball. Gilbert keeps possession. Gilbert pass to Hansen on the left wing. Hansen to the free throw line. Smith to the right wing. Gilbert right side of the lane. It's Kroenke, puts the floater up in the paint. No good. And the rebound for a moment with Alabama, but then lost. Kroenke gets it back. Hansen left wing three is good. Missouri with that in front 61-53, and if you stretch it out, it is now a 12-0 run for Missouri after Alabama had been in front 53-49. The last 12 points have belonged to the Tigers. With that, Crimson Tide call a timeout, 32nd timeout to talk things over with 7:53 to go in the fourth quarter, a fourth quarter where Missouri has outscored Alabama 5-0. Crimson Tide for the game shooting 47% from the floor, 21 of 45. From three-point land, some makes early, but Alabama 66 of 17 from three-point land at 35%, and then 5 of 9 at the free throw line. But need to get some more three-point opportunities. Loyal McQueen has not attempted a three. We have not seen Hannah Barber make a three-pointer. She's just 0 of 1 from three-point land. Leading scorer has been Brittany Davis with 21 points. No one else with more than 8, and that's turned in by Sarah Ashley Barker. Speaking of Barker, she stands in front of the Missouri bench, ready for the inbounds pass from the left sideline, and it comes into Loyal McQueen. 7:50 left to go. Alabama trailing 61-53. An 8-point deficit, largest of the game. McQueen to Rice, right block, she's got it. Right side layup, no good, but she'll go to the free throw line. Jada Rice is playing with 4 fouls, and she draws the foul here against Missouri. And that's on Caitlin Gilbert, her 3rd foul. Rice to the line at 61-53, Alabama trailing. Rice, 45% on the year. At the line, first free throw, rattles in. 61-54, Crimson Tide trailing by 7. One more for Rice. Up and in. 61-55, now she's 7 of 8 in SEC play. Jada Rice has picked up her free throw shooting when Alabama needs it. Tide trailing 61-55. Dealing the backcourt pressure, Kroenke over the timeline right through pressure, and her pass intercepted. Sarah Ashley Barker leads the fast break for the Tide after the steal. Barker top of the key. Barker, left elbow, swings in the right corner to McQueen, but a foul is called under the basket, and that will go against Missouri. And that's on Kroenke. Her 2nd foul, knocking down Rice. Got worried that possibly could be on Jada. Don't want to see her foul out with this much time left. She stays in, 7:24 left to go. Missouri will sub in Sarah Linthicum, the sophomore from Jefferson City, replacing Kroenke, who picked up that last foul. Inbounds pass from Loyal McQueen, left baseline. Looking, waiting, and now in on the left wing to Abrams. Abrams around the screen by Rice to the free throw line, back out to McQueen left wing. She attacks inside. Floats it up from the left baseline, no good. Smith with the rebound on the Crimson paint, and the basketball to Missouri. 7:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. Gilbert over the timeline left, a bounce pass in the left corner. Linthicum back on the left wing, extended to Gilbert. She'll dribble in between the rings, guarded by Barker. A bounce pass to Hansen. Hansen, right front court. Picked up on defense by Davis. Now around the screen. Hansen inside the arc of step. 7 on the shot clock. Down to Smith. Smith Right block, here comes a right side layup, good for Linthicum, and that makes it 63-55 Missouri. Once again, Alabama trailing by 8, 6:40 left to go. McQueen, a handoff to Davis. Davis at the top of the key, flips it to Abrams. Abrams, step inside, spins around. Abrams at the free throw line, dances down the right side lane, spins around again, passes McQueen top of the key. McQueen down the right side lane, in the paint, tried to go for a shot. The ball loose on the floor, touched last by Missouri. Ball rolls over the baseline, and with 10 seconds left in the shot clock, Alabama will have the ball. Loyal McQueen will head out. Point guard Hannah Barber back in. 10 on the shot clock, 6:25 left to go in this fourth quarter. Missouri 63, Alabama 55. Inbounds pass, deflected as it tries to come in by Missouri, and also may have caught a piece of the backboard, but Gilbert was the one for Mizzou that had the solid pressure on the backboard. And on the baseline, trying to stop this play. Barber, a bounce pass to Barker, left block, throws up her shot, no good as she tried to bank it in using the window, and Missouri gets the rebound. Tigers with the ball up 8. Hanson passes top of the key to Smith. Smith, dribble to the left, back to the right side to Gilbert. Gilbert backing up all the way to the Georgia border at mid-floor. Bounce pass for Hanson. Barker tried for a steal, lost her footing. That three-pointer no good. Fight for the rebound. Davis spins it right to Hannah Barber. Here come the Crimson Tide. Barber over the timeline, top of the key. Abrams right side, thought about a three, instead kicks it back to Barber. Now to a wide open Davis, top of the key, three is short, and the rebound on the right block by Smith. Basketball to Missouri. 5:40 left to go in this fourth quarter, a fourth quarter where Mizzou has outscored Alabama 7-2. Alabama has not scored in the last 2 minutes. Basketball with Mizzou. Gilbert to Smith, couple steps to the left side, top of the key, guarded by Barber. Pass to Hanson, top of the key. Catch and release three is off the iron, no good. Rebound by Judd, left block. Tries to go for a reverse layup, gets the ball back after a few deflections. Then it's lost for good. Abrams with the steal. Abrams down the right side lane to Davis, right wing, loads up a contested three that's good. Brittany Davis makes it Missouri 63, Alabama 58. Good answer from Davis. Crimson Tide trailing by 5 with 5 minutes to go in this game, and Missouri with the ball. Gilbert dribbling in between the rings. Guarded by Abrams. Makes a move, moves past Abrams to the free throw line. Jumper is good. Gilbert found her perfect spot to make it 65-58. Basketball to Alabama. 4:45 left to go in this game. Tide trailing now by 7. Davis top of the key. Flips it to Abrams. Abrams makes a move down the right side lane. Goes right to the rim. Throws it up too strong, and the rebound left blocked by Smith. Smith now with 9 rebounds in this game to go along with 11 points off the bench. 4:20 left to go in this contest. Alabama trailing Mizzou 65-58. Gilbert, right front court with idle dribbling. Falk, a friend of the Tigers, with 10 now on the shot clock, 4:10 to go in the game. Gilbert with 7 gets moving to the left elbow, contested jumper. Airballed out of play, was below the backboard and the rim, and the basketball to Alabama. McQueen and Nye back in for the Crimson Tide. Barker and Abrams head to the bench for Alabama. 4:04 left to go in this game. Alabama trying to avoid dropping to 1-2 in SEC play. Started with the 3-point win against Georgia last week in Tuscaloosa before the loss on Sunday in Knoxville, Tennessee. Basketball with Barber. Left side lane to McQueen, top of the key, Nye. Right wing Davis, who hit a three a moment ago. Brittany Davis has scored 24 points tonight. Davis driving down to the right baseline to the top of the key. Nye with a contested three off the iron. Davis the rebound right baseline, driving in. Left side layup good. With her left hand, she puts it through from the right side. 65-60. Alabama down by 5. 3:33 and counting left to go in this fourth quarter. Mizzou ball up by 5. Hanson top of the key. Hanson around the screen by Linthicum to the right elbow. Driving to the right block, throws up a shot, no good, but a foul is called. Second foul on Brittany Davis. First team foul on the Crimson Tide in the fourth quarter. Still 3:20 to go. Missouri with 3 team fouls, Alabama with 1. Hanson to the line. Played at Auburn as a freshman before transferring to Missouri. First free throw up, and no good for Hansen, who's typically one of the best for Mizzou, an 85% free throw shooter. It remains 65-60. 3:20 to go in this game. This one's up and rattles in. 66-60. Linthicum goes out, and Missouri with Ashton Judd back in. Inbounds pass, thrown in on a bounce to Loyal McQueen. McQueen over the timeline right. Alabama with the ball trailing by 6. 3:10 to go in the game. Davis to McQueen, top of the key. McQueen into the Crimson paint. Left side layup up. Won't go. Rice with the rebound. Her putback is good from the left side. Jada Rice taking over. Alabama 66, trailing Missouri 66-62. And a timeout taken by Mizzou. Chance to talk things over with Crimson Tide down by 4. And Missouri with a 30-second timeout. Talk things over. Jada Rice with that last basket up to 10 points. She's been playing for a long time in the fourth quarter with 4 fouls. She picks up her 4th foul with still 35 seconds left to go in the third quarter of play. So it was actually Alabama with the last timeout. So in terms of timeouts remaining in this game, both sides with 2 timeouts still to go. In the foul situation, Missouri at 3 team fouls, Alabama at just 1. Game that Alabama led for 23 minutes, 40 seconds. Missouri has led for 10 minutes, 49 seconds. Crimson Tide returning to the floor with Rice, Barber, McQueen, Davis, and Barker. All starters on the floor except for Loyal McQueen. Leah Nye, the only starter not on the floor at the moment for Alabama. Inbounds pass quickly into Hansen. Against Alabama's full court press, Smith to Gilbert, beats the timeline on the left side to beat the press. Under 3 minutes to go. Missouri ball up by 4. Gilbert guarded intently by Barker. A pass to the left block, blocked away by Jada Rice on a shot by Frank. What a block by Jada. Basketball to the Crimson Tide. Barker to Barber. 2:40 left to go. Alabama with the ball, trailing by 4. Barber pounding the left-handed dribble, calling out a play with her right. Now a bounce pass finds Davis. Davis, bounce pass, left side of the lane. Spinning around Jada Rice, throws it up, leaves it short. Barker, the offensive rebound, left block. Barker backs up to left wing, now attacks the Crimson paint. Spins around, throws up her shot, won't go, and the rebound is picked up in transition by Gilbert. Missouri ball up by 4, 2:13 to go. Gilbert driving in from the left side. Floater in the paint, kicks off the back iron, no good. Fight for the rebound, won by Smith to Hansen, top of the key. Frank loads up a 3, swirls off the rim, no good, and the rebound right side of the lane by Barker. In transition, Loyal McQueen kicks it back out. Davis on the left wing, has time. Davis back inside the arc, to the rim, right side layup, too strong, and Smith picks up the rebound. Big sequence there for Alabama. Now the Crimson Tide still down by 4. Missouri has missed its last 4 shots. Scoring or a field goal drought for the last 3 minutes for the Tigers. 1 minute, 30 seconds to go in Tuscaloosa. Hansen to the right elbow, jumper is short, and the rebound in the Crimson paint by Davis. Here come the Crimson Tide. Alabama trailing by 4, 1:20 to go. Davis backing up to the left wing. Passes to McQueen. McQueen lets her offense set up. McQueen on the left wing, a handoff to Davis. Davis feeling the pressure. Rice is there to set a screen. Davis into the paint, and a foul is called on Gilbert, restricting the movement there. Gilbert guilty of her 4th foul, and that comes with 1:06 to go. Foul on the floor, so Alabama will inbound on the left baseline in a moment. And now Christy Curry will use her next to last timeout to talk things over with 1:06 remaining, and Alabama trailing Missouri 66-62. Full timeout for the Crimson Tide, so the managers bring out the stools for Crimson Tide players to sit down in the huddle for just a moment. Trailing by 4, Alabama outscored 26-21 in the third quarter. It's only been 10-9 in terms of the scoring in the fourth quarter, as Alabama's had an opportunity to really strike. As the Crimson Tide have held Missouri to 0 of its last 5 from the floor. There's been a scoring drought for 2 minutes, 14 seconds for Missouri. So the Crimson Tide have been playing some solid defense, but offensively just trying to get it going. And in this quarter specifically, Alabama 3 of 15 shooting from the floor. Combine that with 1 of 4 from three-point land, so shots just haven't been falling for the Crimson Tide like we're used to seeing in quarter number 4. Missouri with a 66-62 lead against the Crimson Tide. 1:06 remaining. Next up for Alabama. Road trip to Auburn on Sunday at 4 p.m. Tigers are likely now 0-3 in the SEC, playing at number 1 South Carolina tonight. Missouri next up will be home Sunday against Arkansas. The Razorbacks 1-1, hosting the Florida Gators tonight at Bud Walton Arena. Out of timeout, Alabama needing points, trailing 66-62 with 1 minute, 6 seconds remaining. Left baseline, Barber slaps the basketball, ready to trigger the inbounds pass. Looking, coming in the right corner to Davis. Davis to the paint. Davis kicks it out to Barber on the left wing. She attacks the paint. Bounce pass to Rice. Right block, throws up her shot. No good, but a late whistle blown and a foul called against Missouri. Should send Alabama to the free throw line with Jada Rice. Both Rice fell to the floor along with Sarah Ashley Barker. Sarah Rose Smith called for her first foul. 15 fouls, so that will send Alabama to the line indeed with Jada Rice. Good free throw shooting by Rice throughout conference play. One of the challenges from Christy Curry. To Rice, 6'4" grad student from Sewanee, Georgia, started her career at NC State. 59 seconds to go. First of 2. Rattles in. Alabama now down to a 1-possession game at 66-63. One more coming up for Rice. This is up. Off the back iron, no good, and the rebound by Troop at the free throw line. Missouri with the ball facing full court pressure. Hansen trying to spin out of it, tries to call for a timeout. And it will be a timeout. Alabama, solid job on defense, but Coach Pinston using her next to last timeout, saving this possession for Missouri, only up by 3 with 52.3 seconds left to go. 66 for Missouri, 63 for Alabama. Now both sides with 1 timeout remaining. Foul situation at this point, Missouri has put Alabama in the bonus at 5 fouls. Alabama with only 1 foul in this fourth quarter. So it would take 4 more fouls to see Missouri go to the free throw line for the bonus. Missouri's offense will try and get something going. Tigers, 1 of its last 9 shooting from the floor. 0 of its last 5. There's been a 2-minute, 28-second scoring drought for Missouri against Alabama. Critical early season test in SEC women's basketball. Alabama in danger of falling to 1-2 with a loss, but with a win, improving to 2-1, and that would be the same record for Missouri if the Tigers fall on this one. So much work to do. 52.3 seconds left in regulation to try and do it. Frank trying to get ready for the inbounds pass. Heaves it in long to Smith, but that's tipped by McQueen, then out of play, and the basketball will go to Missouri as McQueen had a finger on it but was along the sideline just as she tried to come up with the ball. Looks like they're going to reset the shot clock as well. 50.5 seconds left to go. Missouri will get set for the inbounds pass. Again, we're in the fourth quarter. Mizzou up 66-63. Now Katie Lukinich will take a quick look at the monitor again, making sure the clock is right, as well as seeing where the ball did go out of play. So an official review. With Alabama trailing by 3 with only 50.5 seconds remaining in this third SEC game of the season. At the moment, 50.5 seconds left to go, 22 on the shot clock. See how that changes. A lot of reviews. It's a lengthy close to the game last Thursday against Georgia, but the Crimson Tide ultimately held on for the win at 56-53. We see Missouri go to its bench. Sarah Linthicum will be coming in for Mizzou. Crimson Tide will likely stay with the 5 we've seen on the floor. McQueen, Parker, Barber, Davis, and Rice. Rice again playing some really good basketball in this fourth quarter with 4 fouls. It was Smith right up against McQueen, but Katie Lukinich motions that it will be Missouri basketball. Now visiting with timekeepers just to make sure the clock is correct, and clock change to 51 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. (66-63), Missouri with a 3-point lead against Alabama. Mizzou on the right sideline. Gilbert inbounds the basketball to Hansen. Shot clock rolling as Hansen dribbles right at the center circle. Picked up on defense by Barber. 10 on the shot clock. Hansen gets moving to the right side. Hansen, top of the key. Judd, left wing three on the way, is off the iron, no good, and out of play. So the basketball to the Crimson Tide. At the rim, then right over that backboard. Now the basketball to Alabama. Crimson Tide will see a sub for Missouri as Avery Kroenke will check in. Christy Curry calling a timeout to advance the ball past mid-floor, and this will be Alabama's final timeout. Can do that in the final minute of women's basketball games. Missouri will have just one timeout remaining. 66-63. Missouri still has not scored in the last 2 minutes, 49 seconds. So the defense has been there for Alabama. Now just got to get the offense. Last point was courtesy of Jada Rice at the free throw line on a 1-for-2 trip. Just a second, Missouri was able to get the rebound by Haley Troop. Rebounding battle won by Alabama to this point by one board, 34-33 in this game. Another one coming down to the wire in Tuscaloosa. Crimson Tide with a lot on the line early in the season, getting ready to go to Auburn. Definitely much better to go coming off a victory. Both sides with 10 points apiece in the fourth quarter. Alabama with Sarah Ashley Barker will inbound the basketball from the left sideline. Looking, and a bounce pass to the top of the key to Barber. Barber to Barker, about a half-second difference in between the game clock and shot clock, and there's a foul on Lauren Hansen of Missouri. Or excuse me, Avery Kroenke. Kroenke called for her third foul. So that will send Alabama to the line with 25.9 seconds remaining. And it will be Sarah Ashley Barker to the free throw line. Came into tonight just 5 of 8 at the line this season, 63%. Barker has been 1 of 2 at the free throw line this season, or in this game. Frank will check in for Linthicum. Haley Frank having to play with 4 fouls. Same to be said for Gilbert. Hansen comes back in to replace Kroenke for Missouri. Alabama down by 3. Missouri with a 66-63 lead. Barker to the line. First one up. And in. 66-64. Time getting ready for one more. Everyone hunched over each side of the lane, ready to explode and try and get the rebound. Barker. Second free throw good. 1-point game. 66-65. Mizzou will call timeout, and that will allow the Tigers to advance the ball past mid-floor and get ready for an inbounds pass in front of their bench. Alabama has not scored a field goal last 2.5 minutes, but the last 3 points coming at the free throw line to make it a 1-point game. Missouri 66, Alabama 65. See what the Crimson Tide will do defensively. Sometimes in spots like this, come back out on defense after a team has called timeout to advance the ball past mid-floor. You call a timeout yourself just to reset the defense. Maybe the offense resets, but no chance to do that here with Alabama and Missouri both out of timeouts in this ball game. 3 officials talking mid-floor. Katie Luganich, Karen Priato, Nikesha Thompson. Again, no timeouts remaining for Missouri and Alabama. Missouri has put Alabama in the bonus with 5+ fouls. Alabama still with just 1 foul in this fourth quarter. Teams getting ready to return to the floor. Brittany Davis, leading scorer for Alabama with 26 points. Jada Rice with 11 points. Missouri led by Caitlin Gilbert with 13. Balanced scoring after that. Judd 11, Smith 11, Hansen with 10. Don't forget about Haley Frank, who has 9 points. Her minutes limited by foul trouble, but she was the one who sparked that 7-0 run for the Tigers, closed out the third quarter, grabbed control of the lead. Gilbert On the right sideline in front of the Mizzou bench to inbound the basketball. 25.9 seconds left. Shot clock turned off. Gilbert in quickly, just beating the 5-second count, and then a foul called in Alabama. Alabama trapped Frank between McQueen and Barber. And McQueen helped up to her feet. Took a tough collision with an elbow right in the face. She fell to the floor. So the foul call against Alabama, only the second team foul against the Crimson Tide. Officials will go to the monitor to take a look at that last foul because, again, McQueen was there along with Barber. Going to call the foul on several different players. No field goals in the last 2:36 for Alabama. Again, the previous play under further review. Barber was right there as the inbounds pass came in quickly. See whether or not flagrant foul. Davis along with Barber along with McQueen, who bore the brunt of the blow when Frank just tried to spin her way out of traffic, but there was nowhere to go. McQueen was right there. So another review with 24 seconds left to go. Okay, Lukinich with the headset on. Taking a look at what is a very important foul with the Crimson Tide trailing 66-65. 24 seconds to go. The decision is in. Whistle blown. And it looks like it'll just be a common foul. So Missouri will basically reset from what we just saw. The last foul actually was on Hannah Barber, her second. Mizzou with 24.2 seconds left to go. Up by a point, 66-65. Tigers trying to improve to 3-0 in the SEC. Alabama trying to get a win to get to 2-1 and also put Mizzou's record at 2-1. 24.2 seconds left. Gilbert ready to inbound the basketball. Gilbert looking, waiting, came close to 5 last time, this time into Hanson. Hanson immediately fouled by Barker and Barber were both right there. This foul will go against Sarah Ashley Barker. Her third foul, that'll get Alabama to 3 team fouls. Still 2 to give to get Mizzou to the free throw line and into the bonus. 2 seconds went off the clock, 22.6 left to go. Once again, Gilbert. Right sideline, and this time an offensive foul. Barker takes the charge, a huge break for Alabama. Blue collar basketball turned in by Sarah Ashley Barker as that foul is on Frank. That is her 5th foul. She is out of this game. Fouling out with 22.6 seconds remaining. Haley Frank, who leads this team by averaging 15 points per game, 9 points in this one, and she fouls out. Robin Pinchton, Haley Frank talking with Nikesha Thompson about the call. Alabama taking out McQueen and Cobbins, bringing back in Nye and Rice. 22.6 seconds remaining. And Alabama's got a great opportunity. See what the Tigers like to do. Kroenke will be coming in. Do you let Alabama try and work the clock down, heave it at the buzzer and see what happens? Or if you're Missouri, do you put Alabama on the free throw line quickly? 22.6 seconds left. Inbounds pass to Barber. Missouri will let Barber move across midfloor. Gilbert on defense against her, but Barber over the middle of the timeline. 15 seconds left. Davis, top of the key for the Crimson Tide. Driving left side, goes up for a shot, partially deflected. Davis gets it back. Loose on the floor, 5 seconds left. A scrum for the basketball. Everybody trying to get position, and a jump ball called. Possession arrow favors Alabama with 2.4 seconds remaining. That was loose on the floor for so long, trying to grab possession right before the baseline on the left side of the lane near the left block. So it's simple. 2.4 seconds left. Alabama a chance to win this game with a field goal, trailing 66-65. Barber left baseline, slaps the basketball, trying to trigger the inbounds pass. Barber looking into Barker. Left baseline jumper up, no good, and Missouri wins. The Tigers hold on with defense at the last moment. Alabama was held without a field goal in the last 3 minutes, and Barker's jumper from the left baseline no good as Alabama will fall to Missouri 66-65, the final score. Robin Pinchton, Christy Curry talking at midfloor. tough finish for the Crimson Tide, but quite a fight all throughout this game as Missouri picks up the win 66-65. We'll step aside and be back with the Region's postgame show, but before that, we will pause 10 seconds for a station ID. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Post-game show in a moment as Alabama falls to Missouri 66-65, the final score in Tuscaloosa. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Lear. "26 points for Brittany Davis tonight. Alabama edged at the buzzer 66-65 against Missouri. Roger Hoover now joined by the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Christy Curry. And Coach Curry, as we will work on your sound in just a moment. Apologize for that, but we will. It's all good. We will have Coach Curry's audio coming just shortly as Alabama falls by just a point to Missouri.
There you go.
Again, the final score here in Tuscaloosa is the Crimson Tide falling 66-65. Now we are joined by the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Coach Curry. And Coach, in a game that came down to 1 point, what were some of the differences in this contest?
Yeah, I mean, we just missed some shots, Roger. You got to make shots. I thought they made a couple more than we did, and boy, we missed some wide open ones. But I thought our kids really battled back in the fourth and put themselves in a position to win. Just a huge defensive play by Sarah Ashley there to get us another possession. And we missed a good look there at the end, but it shouldn't come down to that. We missed free throws early in the game, just a few little things early in the game I thought really hurt us as well. Some letdowns and some scouting report defense. I mean, we gave their bench 21. We corrected that in the second half. And then I thought we only had 2 turnovers in the second half, which was huge. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's just, they're really good. There's a reason they've got 14 wins, and you don't have very much margin for error. So all the little things tonight, I thought we missed a couple of free throws, missed some shots. You got to make shots.
At the end, Sarah Ashley Barker with that last shot, and then a tough moment after the game's over. But I know you went right to her, had a good hug, good embrace, because she played great basketball for you.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't come down to that last look. If we had a couple of free throws earlier, I thought we missed a couple of threes there late in the fourth where we had some great looks, but then we hit a couple of big ones. So at the end of the day, it's not just about that. The kid made the amazing defensive play. To give us that opportunity, so it's not just the last shot, but it was a good look. I thought it was going down from my angle. I honestly did.
Brittany Davis, 26 points, and again, the defense is big for her with 3 steals.
Yeah, she played really hard, did a really good job defensively tonight. At the end of the day, we just Again, it's really hard to understand. At points during the game, we just have some critical missteps on the defensive end. But I thought she played really well on both sides of the ball. I thought she made some hustle plays on the boards. And you just credit our kids, man. These people are good we're playing. It just came up short tonight. We just have to pick ourselves up and stay positive and keep at it.
What's the focus going to be in practice getting ready for the trip to Auburn on Sunday?
Well, they're going to be really physical and really aggressive. It's going to be really important that we're strong with the ball and take good care of the ball. We're going to have some pressure release offensively. And again, understand that, they do a really good job of getting to the rim. So we've got to protect the rim better than we did today. I thought in the first half we cut a couple letdowns in transition D. I think it's going to be really important, our transition defense, and how much we keep the ball in front at Auburn and be disciplined defensively to keep them from having easy looks at the rim and points in the paint. If we can do that, we'll go be successful. So I think the biggest thing right now is keeping these kids encouraged and staying positive. These hurt, but you have to hit reset at midnight and be ready to go.
Coach, thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday at Auburn. Roll Tide.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
That's Alabama head coach Christy Curry. Her comments presented by Cook's Pest Control and Centricon, the unbeatable combination for termite protection as Alabama falls by a point, 66-65 to the Missouri Tigers. We will step aside in a moment. This is the Regions postgame show. Get your University of Alabama Regions Visa debit card. Visit regions.com/GoBama to order yours today. We'll be back with one final segment when we return to Tuscaloosa in a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.